Aura farming, a term that has existed since the beginning of the human race, and maybe even before that. No matter at what point in history you look at, there's always going to be somebody aura farming somewhere. Whether it's Napoleon or Genghis Khan, aura farming has always been woven somewhere into our history. But today I'm not here to talk about any historical figures or anything like that. Instead, I'm going to be talking about some of the most diabolical aura farmers in anime.
Unlike me, bitch tryna run on my bed like a Mustang. See, I gotta watch on my wrist as a bust down.
So if you already couldn't tell, today we are going to be talking about some of anime's most outrageous aura farmers. Those characters who go around acting like they're in an edit 24/7 and just go above and beyond for that extra bit of aura, even if it kills them. Now, if you don't know what aura is, then it can be described as the distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround and be generated by a person, thing, or place. But in today's context, it's more used as the inherent coolness that a person or character might give off. And when someone does something just for the sake of gaining more aura, that's called aura farming. And a lot of the time, it gets really out of hand. Now, when I even hear the word aura, there is one specific character that comes to my mind immediately without hesitation. And that is my favorite black anime character, Piccolo. Piccolo is one of those characters that you'll never find lacking no matter what the situation is. In any of the old Dragon Ball series, whenever the Z Fighters were in some sort of fight, Piccolo would always just show up suspiciously late, standing on some sort of building with his cape flowing in the wind, just to make sure everyone knew we saw the fit. And you really have to admire the dedication that it takes to do this, because he has to find a place with the perfect lighting and the perfect wind just to make sure everyone sees how good his fit actually is. And that's not to say Piccolo doesn't aura farm when he fights as well, because in Dragon Ball Z, when Piccolo had one of his first encounters with Imperfect Cell, after Cell just got done sucking a whole town, pause. Piccolo and Cell started fighting, and midway through the fight, all of a sudden, we see Piccolo turn his back to Cell and do one of the nastiest spin kicks ever. And at this point, Piccolo is doing it for the love of the game, because there are no cameras around and no one is recording it. Now, of course, Piccolo is one of the most iconic aura farmers in anime, but he does have one problem. And it's for some reason, every time Piccolo starts aura farming, as soon as he joins the fight, he immediately gets cooked. I'm not sure I can think of a moment where he was aura farming and didn't just immediately get defeated afterwards, besides when he took off his fit and handed it to the Frieza Force soldiers in Dragon Ball Super. But Piccolo still holds his place as the OG aura farmer, and definitely one of the best characters to ever do it, especially in OG Dragon Ball. I really do miss the old theatrics of OG Dragon Ball, especially in the movies like BoJack and Super Android 18, just because the aura farming and pull-up game was always just so elite. And that's why I want to give a quick honorable mention to Gohan, because the way Z Gohan was moving was crazy. The way Gohan took out BoJack and his minions, absolutely destroyed the Cell Juniors, and then proceeded to violate Blue, and then got cooked anyways, were all elite aura farming moments. Now, we just talked about one of the most OG aura farmers in anime, so now it's time to talk about one of the most recent and most notorious characters known for aura farming. Jin Woo. I swear to God, everything this man does is in the name of aura farming. Every episode of Solo Leveling is just straight up aura farming simulator no matter what. Jin Woo versus Igris, aura becoming the Shadow Monarch, aura Jin Woo versus Baruka, aura. It got to the point where I didn't think this man did anything without the intention of aura farming, because near the end of season 2, when all the S-rank hunters were doing the raid on Jeju Island, and they were getting absolutely cooked, Jin Woo was just standing on top of a building watching all of this happen in real time, waiting for the perfect moment to jump in and save the day, while having the most aura possible. And the worst part is, he only showed up when Chai-In was about to die. The thing is, though, I don't necessarily blame Jin Woo for aura farming all the time, because you have to remember at the beginning of Solo Leveling, Jin Woo was one of the weakest hunters in the world, if not the weakest. So it only makes sense that once he became one of the most powerful hunters in South Korea, he started acting like a completely different person. It's just like the really upgraded version of the feeling you get after you get a brand new haircut. When it comes to Monarch, Jin Woo isn't the only character that we're going to be talking about in this video. Next, we probably have one of the most disrespectful characters in anime, the King of Kings, Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is a pretty prominent figure in most of the Fate series throughout his appearances in Fate Stay Night, Zero, Grand Order, and a couple more shows, but throughout the series, there's still one thing in common. The fact that this man is outrageously disrespectful no matter what. You see, Gilgamesh is part god, and one of the few servants that actually existed. Coupled with the fact that he was said to possess everything in the world at one point, it's no surprise that this man is one of the most arrogant, downright most disrespectful people in anime. So it's been a while since I've watched any of the Fate series, so I decided to go rewatch a couple episodes just so that I could find the clips that I wanted to talk about. And in the meantime, while I was doing that, I decided to go read the wiki a little bit. And while I was doing that, I found a bit under appearance that said, quote, "He has a perfect golden proportioned body, described as emanating majesty, that makes flames surrounding him afraid to come close, and his very soul glows golden." And I was like, what type of glaze is this? You're telling me that his very soul glows golden? If that's not aura, then I have no idea what is. And that's just the beginning of it. In episode 11 of Fate Zero Season 2, Gilgamesh is at the Holy Grail waiting for Saber to come and fight him, right after murking Ryder. And the whole time he's doing his normal Gilgamesh stuff, talking about wild dogs and calling people mongrels. But then he says something I never thought I'd hear him say.
"Lay down your blade and be my wife."
And that got me so confused. Just a minute ago, Gilgamesh was fiending for a fight. Anyways, I got a little off track there. But literally every time Gilgamesh is shown on the screen, he's doing some sort of aura farming. Whether it's putting down whoever he's talking to, absolutely skill diffing his opponent, or trying to make Saber his wife by harassing her for some reason. I just feel like I had to talk about this menace of a character. Now, this isn't the end of the list, but it is the last character that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and he's definitely the most nonchalant character so far, and that is Gojo Satoru. When you are arguably one of the strongest characters, if not the strongest character in your whole universe, it's not a surprise that Gojo is always looking for opportunities to aura farm. Now, of course, there's tons of moments in JJK, not even counting the manga, where Gojo absolutely humiliates his opponent and starts aura farming. But before I talk about any of them, I first want to talk about his powers, because they are literally built for having the most aura possible. We all know Gojo has the 6 eyes, and he's one of the first to have it in 400 years, which is insane. But because he has the 6 eyes, he can also use the limitless technique, which literally doesn't let anything touch him for the most part. Like for instance, if Gojo walks outside and it's raining, he will not get rained on whatsoever. And the only other person I've seen do this is Duke Dennis.
Rain doesn't hit Duke Dennis.
Now obviously Infinity has a lot more uses than not getting rained on, like his fight between Jogo and Hanami in the 2nd season. And I'm quickly going to go through this fight because I can feel myself getting sick recording this, but a lot happened, so I just want to get to the most devious part. So Gojo starts the fight by hitting the Rock Lee pose, and then proceeds to start absolutely dominating in a 2v1. And then for some reason, he even molests Jogo's arm before proceeding to rip it off. And I don't know what type of aura that is, but then as the fight proceeds, Gojo proceeds to rip out Hanami's horns like spaghetti, calling her asparagus, and then slowly walks Hanami to the wall, crushing her like a tomato, with this devious ass smile on his face, and the whole time Jogo is just being forced to watch this happen. And I don't know what's worse, the fact that he made Jogo watch, or that he did the 1-2 dinner combo on Hanami. So at the end of the Gojo portion of this video, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm still warming up to making these kinds of videos. Each video is gonna get better and better, so if you guys want to see any specific videos or anything like that, just let me know. 500 subs is the next goal, and I'll see you guys in the next video.